Now, I remember when Kelly and I first met you, we met at a conference, and at that time you were single. And I can remember us having this conversation when we said to you, Dana, what is it that you're asking God for? And you said, I'm asking God for a husband. Tell us more about being single, the desire to be married, and the story that followed.
Well, I was in my early 30s. I believe I was around 33 years old when we met. And as I mentioned, both of my two sisters were already married. And I had an engagement that ended up being broken off. And I really wanted to be married. I wanted to have children. I wanted to experience motherhood and being a wife. But I just never felt peace about pursuing marriage with anyone. And I wondered if that was what God had for me. And so, as you mentioned, I heard you speak at a conference and ran up to you afterwards to tell you how wonderful it was. And that's when you invited me to sit with you at dinner that night. And I think that's where I shared with you my desire to be married, and you prayed for me.
And then, of course, the Lord did provide you with a soulmate, a husband. And how did that happen?
Well, I just want to mention the night you prayed for me, you said something that really impacted me. And you mentioned after you prayed that I believe the Lord is on your case. And I remember not quite knowing what that was, but I went back to the room where I was staying. I wrote it down in my journal, and I remember feeling this giddy excitement that God was moving in my life. And it was within a year, I believe, that I met David. And it was a very unusual circumstance. We were set up on a blind date. A mutual friend had been to see her doctor. The doctor had a son. They were chatting. Next thing you know, the doctor's son is calling me. And, I think as a single person, there's always the temptation to try to arrange circumstances to meet somebody. But I really had come to a place in my life where I said, if God wanted me married, he was going to have to arrange the circumstances, and he did.
And he certainly did.